Hi, I'm Amy Romeo and I'm here with another Faux Leather Crafts Camp video. And in today's video, I'll be showing you how to make these fruity cord keepers with faux leather heat transfer vinyl and a Cricut. I have a watermelon design and then also a lemon that can be recolored in green or orange or pink, as I'm going to do today, to make a pink grapefruit. I'll let you know how you can get the SVGs for these two designs in just a moment, but first let's go through the tools and materials we'll be using. So I'll be using my Cricut Maker today, but you can use any of the current Cricut machines because they all cut faux leather with the standard fine point blade. Now the faux leather that I'm using for the watermelon is a really cute watermelon rind print, but if you don't have this one, and I'll have links to all of these materials for you, but if you don't have this one, then you can always use some green regular faux leather. For the pink grapefruit, I'm just using a peach solid faux leather, and then we're going to be applying heat transfer vinyl on top. And you can use any colors you'd like or styles. For the watermelon, I'm going to make the red part out of this glitter heat transfer vinyl. The black seeds, I'll use some regular Caesar Easy Weed and black. There's also some white on the watermelon, so I'll use white for that, also on the pink grapefruit. And then I'm going to use some red foil iron-on for the inside of the cord keeper, just to add some professional look and a little pop of color on the inside. Same thing for the pink grapefruit. I'll use this really pretty pink color, pink glitter, and also a rose gold foil iron-on. But again, you can use any colors you'd like. To press the heat transfer vinyl onto the faux leather, I'll use my Easy Press Mini set to the low setting. You can use a bigger Easy Press if that's what you have. I'll be using my heat pressing pad and also a little cover sheet. This is a Teflon sheet that I've trimmed down to size, but you could use butcher paper or parchment paper. You'll also want some blue painter's tape to help get good faux leather cuts. We'll be cutting on the purple strong grip mat for the faux leather and the green standard grip mat for the heat transfer vinyl. You'll need a weeding tool of some kind. You can have a pin pen or a hook weeding tool. And then also we'll be connecting these little cord keepers with a Kam Snap. And these snaps are a great way to snap the pieces of the faux leather together. And they come in all different colors. These are called size 20s. If you've watched my other videos where I make the little coin wallets, I've used size 20 extra long for those because I'm punching through multiple layers of faux leather. But in this project, we're just going to use regular size 20s because it's just going through one thickness of faux leather. And this package came with a bunch of different colors, so we'll pick some colors and have some fun. And then you'll need the Kam Snap pliers. And these come, they're little hand punch, and we're gonna press the Kam Snaps closed with these special pliers. Okay, so let me show you how to get the SVGs for this project, and then we'll jump into Design Space and we will get our mats cut out, and I'll show you how to put these fruity cord keepers together. To get the SVG for this and all of the daily event projects, visit the event page at amyromeo.com/summer24 or click the link in the description. You'll also see the option to upgrade to the event VIP pass, where you'll get instant access to all of the daily event projects, bonus files, and more. So starting with a blank canvas in Cricut Design Space, you'll click on Upload and then Upload Image, and you'll browse to where the unzipped SVG files are for this project. Click on them to select it, click Open, and you'll see a preview of the two shapes. Click Continue, and then Upload. And both of our cord keeper shapes will be on our canvas. So the first thing I want to do is ungroup them so I can show you how these are going to cut. Both of the bottom layers, the yellow and the dark green, those layers will cut from faux leather. All the other layers will cut from heat transfer vinyl. And then what I did with the little black seeds, I thought that you might want to use glitter heat transfer vinyl for both the seeds and the watermelon. And it's not good to press glitter on top of glitter. So I sliced the seeds out of this layer. So you're not pressing the seeds onto glitter, you're pressing the seeds onto that white heat transfer vinyl on the bottom. Okay, so both of these are going to cut the exact same way and be assembled the exact same way. What I'm going to do is delete this one for now, and we're going to cut the watermelon, and then I will off camera cut the pink grapefruit, and then I'll show you how to assemble both of them at the same time. So we can go ahead and click the Make It button. We're cutting our materials on a mat. And the first thing we want to do is go through each mat and toggle that mirror button on, because faux leather and heat transfer vinyl cut in reverse. There we go. And then I want to just take a moment and organize my mats a little. So I like to pull my faux leather shapes away from the edges, the side and the top, just a little bit because we will be taping this material down. And I like to do the same thing with my heat transfer vinyl layers, just to give myself a little bit of room. So go ahead and organize all of your layers however you'd like to. And when they're all set, you can click continue. Actually, I want to cut that faux leather mat first, so I will click on the faux leather mat and then click continue. And the faux leather mat will cut using the faux leather paper thin setting. If you don't have this setting bookmarked as a favorite like I do, you can click on browse all materials and search for it. Keep in mind, if you're using an Explore Air 2, you'll need to turn your dial to custom before you'll find this setting in the browse feature. So I'm going to click on faux leather paper thin, and I always choose more pressure when cutting faux leather. And here's our reminder that we're just using that regular fine point blade that comes with all the Cricut machines. And for the heat transfer vinyl mats, you're going to choose the vinyl cutting setting that corresponds with the material that you're using, whatever the manufacturer recommends. Okay, so let's hop back over to my overhead camera. We'll start to cut out the mats for the watermelon, and then I'll follow up with cutting up the mats for the pink grapefruit, and I'll show you how to put this project together. So I mentioned in the introduction that we're going to decorate the inside of the faux leather, which is really the back of the green faux leather for each of these. And we do that just because it adds some interest and a little pop of color and just makes our project just look more finished and professional. So I'm going to put some foil iron on here, and what I'm going to do is press it to my faux leather first, and then when we cut out our shape for the cord keeper, it'll cut through both layers at one time, and the iron-on will be perfectly adhered to the faux leather. So what I did was I cut my faux leather piece big enough so that my shape will cut out completely, and then I cut a piece of Cricut foil iron-on just slightly smaller on all sides. And I'm going to put the faux leather pretty side down, the foil pretty side up, so basically the backs are touching. I have my Easy Press Mini set on the low setting. If you're using a regular Easy Press, I would set it to about 265 degrees. And then I'm just going to cover this in sections and press. Now, because this is a larger piece, a larger Easy Press would work well, but I like to have the control of being able to really target spots with this tiny little Easy Press Mini. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. I'm just going to press for about 10 seconds all over. And then I will put my cover sheet to the side. I'm going to keep my faux leather as flat as possible, and I'm just going to lift up a corner of the clear cover sheet on top of the foil, and I'm going to gently and slowly peel back. Now, if as you're peeling you see the vinyl lifting up, then you'll want to place your cover sheet back down and press some more. But this looks pretty good. So I can see here in this corner there's a little bit of lifting, but nothing terrible. And you can see that the texture of the faux leather is starting to come through just a little bit. So now what I'm going to do is cover and press again all over for about 5 seconds in each area. And what this does is really help that foil iron-on adhere to the back of the faux leather. And now that I've pressed it again, you can really start to see the texture of the faux leather underneath, and that tells you that the heat transfer vinyl is really well adhered to all of the parts of that faux leather. Okay, great. So now we're going to get our purple strong grip cutting mat, and I'm going to place my faux leather pretty side down in the spot that I saw on the mat preview screen where our cord keeper shape is going to cut. You're going to press it down well with your hands, and then use some blue painter's tape and just tape it down on all sides. This is going to help keep this piece of faux leather from moving, which is a really important tip for trying to get good cuts using faux leather and a Cricut. There we go. So we have our faux leather paper thin setting with more pressure all ready to go. So we'll just load our mat into the machine and begin the cut. So the cut has run one time, and before you unload the mat, you want to use a sharp weeding tool just to lift up the edge of the cut to see if it looks like it went all the way through. If it didn't, you can rerun the cut as many times as necessary just by hitting that cut button again, as long as you haven't unloaded your mat. But this looks pretty good, so I'm going to unload my mat and remove my faux leather shape. I want to try and not wrinkle the foil if possible, so I'm bending the mat away from the faux leather, almost like when you're taking cardstock off of a Cricut mat. And there's our little shape. And you can see on this side where our little holes are, and those are going to be the holes that the little Kam Snaps pop into. So I'm just going to use my sharp weeding tool and poke those through. Now sometimes when you cut faux leather with foil or heat transfer vinyl on the back, you get sort of a ridged edge from where the blade was going through. So if you get that, you can just put this right back on your heat pressing pad, cover and press for a few seconds just to flatten out that ridge. But this one looks pretty good. So I'm going to set this aside. And now I'm going to cut out my seed layer, my other heat transfer vinyl layer for the rind, and also my watermelon layer. Okay, so I've gone ahead and cut and weeded my vinyl layers. I have the watermelon, I have the seed layer, and I also have the white layer that goes on the rind. So I'm going to return to Design Space now and cut out the pink grapefruit layers, and then we'll come back and we will start to put these cord keepers together. Okay, so I've finished cutting out all of the vinyl layers for both projects. I applied that rose gold foil iron-on to the back of the peach faux leather, cut that out. Remember to poke through your little holes there so you can see them on the front, and that'll be important in just a minute. But what we're going to do first is press our vinyl layers. So I kept the white layers are actually positioned together the way they're going to go on this layer. So don't cut these apart, but you can cut all of the other layers apart. I just wanted to make this one kind of easy for you as a quick base to be able to put down. So all I'm doing is trying to center the white layer vertically and horizontally so that there's the same amount of white space all around the edges. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that's just what I'm looking for. And then again, our Easy Press Mini on the low setting. I'm just going to cover and press for about 10 seconds all over. Then what you want to do is, again, keeping that faux leather nice and flat, you're going to want to try and carefully peel away that top carrier sheet. If it peels up easily, just keep going. If not, press it for a few more seconds. But that looks pretty good. And now we're just going to line up the little grapefruit sections. Now what we want to do is get the grapefruit sections a little bit closer to the center line so that the white part is a little thicker on this side than it is down here. And that's because when we fold these up, they're going to fold like this, and it'll look more like a grapefruit or a lemon or a lime, whatever you're doing. So we've got that one in position. Again, we'll just cover and press. And we'll repeat on the other side. Now you may notice that the vinyl layers don't have the little tiny holes like the back does. And that's because I didn't want you to worry about trying to line up a little tiny hole on a vinyl layer on the front with the hole in the faux leather. And since all we need is the tiniest little hole to be able to push the Kam Snap through, what I'm going to do is just use my sharp weeding tool and gently press through. Just press through that vinyl layer on the other side. That's really all you need, is a little hole. And that way you're all set to go without pre-made holes in your vinyl. So I'm going to set this one aside to let it cool. And now I'm going to press the watermelon. So remember, keep the white layer connected. I'm noticing that it's taking more pressing time to press onto this rind print. So keep in mind every faux leather is different, and you may need to press one of these projects more than the other. See how there it's starting to lift up a little bit? So I want to stop peeling that cover sheet. I want to lay it right back down and return to pressing. Again, I would do 5 to 7 second bursts, and then we will try again. Another thing that you can do is you can set it aside and let it cool. Sometimes that helps the heat transfer vinyl stick better to the faux leather before we try and peel. There we go, that looks good. So with the watermelon, what I want to do is put the bottom line of this watermelon, I want to put it all the way to the bottom so we don't see any of the white rind at the bottom, just the way a watermelon is. And then we'll cover and press. And the last thing we're going to do is press our little seeds. So as I mentioned, if we are using glitter heat transfer vinyl for the red layer, we don't want to press another layer of vinyl, whether it's glitter or regular. We don't want to press glitter on top of glitter. It won't last for a long time when we're handling these. So I did do a slice where I cut out the shape of the seed out of the red layer, and now I'm just going to line these up right in those little spots and press. So now those little seeds are stuck to not the red glitter layer, but the white layer underneath, which is perfect for layering. Now we'll just do the other side. And that looks great. So again, we're going to use our sharp weeding tool and just poke it carefully on those little pre-cut holes through to the vinyl side. I'm doing this while the vinyl is warm. That's going to help poke that through a little easier. See the weeding tool coming through? Do that on each side. There we go. And now we're ready to attach our Kam Snaps. So I'm going to take just a moment, get my Kam Snaps set up, and then I'll show you how easy it is to attach those onto these cord keepers. So now I'm going to show you how to put the Kam Snaps on. And the Kam Snaps are the little parts that are going to make this open and close so that your cord can be bundled up inside. So Kam Snaps for a project like this have 4 parts. And what I like to do is identify the parts in the box and take them out and line them up. And I'm looking at this paper that came with my box of Kam Snaps. And there are 4 pieces. So there's a cap on the top, a stud piece, it has little bumps, a socket piece, and then another cap. So what I do is I look for these 4 pieces inside of my box and I just line them up right in order. Now these again are size 20. They're not 20 extra long. This can be found on Amazon in all the different colors. If you need the size 20 extra long for clamping through multiple pieces of faux leather, then you can find the colors on the Kam Snap website, and I'll link to that for you. Then for the pliers, a lot of times you can find the box of the snaps that comes with the pliers. The pliers have this black piece that's interchangeable with other sizes, but honestly, I didn't change it because the black piece works just fine. And this is a really easy little hand press. So now all we're going to do is put our Kam Snaps onto the sides of our faux leather cord keeper. And I'm going to start at the top with the cap. The cap is going to go on the outside. See there on the outside, and you can use any color you'd like. Then on the inside, we're going to put the part that's called the stud, and it's hard to see, but it has little bumps on the edge. The bumps go down. So those bumps are down, the cap is on the outside, and I'm going to hold this in my fingers and kind of slide this through in here. And the cap is inside this black piece. The black piece is sort of concave, so there's a little place for the cap to fit in. And then the white piece here, the inside black piece is covered by the white piece. And all I'm going to do is squeeze really hard. You want to use 2 hands to really get those 2 pieces to engage. And then that's what it will look like. So the cap is on the outside and the stud is on the inside. Now we're going to repeat that process with these other 2 pieces here. So again, the cap goes on the outside. and the socket goes on the inside. Before you clamp this down, just make sure that it looks like it makes sense. So this part that we already did has something that sticks up, and then this part has something that is going to take this piece that sticks up. There's a little space for it to snap into. So just confirm that before you press this down. Again, we're going to repeat this. Make sure that the cap is nestled inside the black piece and the inside piece is inside of the white part. And again, we'll just squeeze really hard with 2 hands. There we go. And that's that. Isn't that cute? So here are the 2 designs, and you can see how cute they look with the little cords inside. Again, this makes a great gift for a teenager, or if you travel, it's a great way to keep your electronic cords handy with you. Remember, to get this and all the event files for the Faux Leather Crafts Camp event, visit amyromeo.com/summer24. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.